Let's talk about a double close. This is the other way to exit out of these is a double close. So we're going to use this same example. We've done a little bit of marketing to the golden pot. We know where there's motivated sellers that can sell cheap, and we found this property. Let's use the same example. Say the seller agreed to sell this thing for $30,000. We're going to sign that same purchase and sale agreement with the seller. We're going to say, hey, we'll buy this from you for $30,000. Now, for some reason, um, here's why double closings are important. Double close, when you do an assignment, it will show the seller and your cash buyer how much your assignment fee is. So in that previous example, the seller that you agreed to buy with earlier and also your cash buyer will see that you're getting an assignment fee of $10,000. Now, anytime an assignment fee is $10,000 or more, you may not want all parties to be on notice of how much you're making. So if you're making $10, $20, $30, $40,000 on a spread on a wholesale, you'd probably want to do a double close. Now with a double close, what happens is there's actually two separate closings. So the parties don't actually see an assignment fee or see your profit. So in this case, with the seller on a double close or a simultaneous close, we'll sign the contract with the seller just like we did, and then we'll send an email out to our buyers list and say, listen, we're willing to sell this property for $40,000 to the first cash buyer. Joe Investor says, I'll take it. And you say, fantastic. We'll get together, sign a purchase and sale agreement on this property for $40,000. So you take that same contract and you put a shorter closing time. So the seller may have given you 30 days to close. So you tell your cash buyer you have 15 days to close. And that's what you put on the contract. So you sign both of these. You sign a contract to buy, you sign a contract to sell, and then the same thing. You either give this to your real estate attorney, depending on what state you live in, or to your title company and open escrow. And what they'll do, and you tell them that you'd like to do a double close. And here's the cool part how this works. Your cash buyer on the day of closing is going to wire to the title company $40,000 in cash. Now, of that, you will use 30,000 of those dollars that are in escrow with the title company to buy and close out the first transaction, the A to B. So you have used the cash buyer's money to buy the property, and then 15 minutes later, you go to the next room and you sign the paperwork to sell to your cash buyer. And when you do that, the difference is your profit. So you get $10,000 in this example, less closing costs, okay? Here's the thing. I want you to understand that there, with a double close, this will kind of prevent all parties from seeing how much you're making until the very end. Then your cash buyer will see it, but he already is getting a great deal, so he's okay with it, he or she. The double close, there actually is two separate closings happening here. You're going to buy it, and then you're also going to sell it. So when you do that, there's two sets of closing costs. So the only really downside to that is there may be $500, $600, $700 in closing costs between those, maybe more, maybe less, that will eat into your profit a little bit. So it really just depends how you'd like to exit out, and the reason why you'd rather do a double close opposed to an assignment. But there's two different ways, and either way, you didn't use any of your money or your credit, and you're walking out with similar dollars. So here's how to find bargain houses. Like I told you, if you cannot find bargain properties that you know you can get below value, you have no business. So let me show you how I do it. I use tiny little yellow postcards, pretty similar to this. They say, hey, listen, sell your house for cash in 7 days or less, or I'll buy your house with no commissions. You can sell it in as is condition. And I send this out. Now, here's the thing. I never print these cards. I never touch them. I never address them. I never put postage on them. And I'll show you how I do it in just a minute. But what's mostly important is who these are being sent to. I'm going to show you three of the main people that you really need to get in front of with these tiny little postcards. Number one, inherited properties. Now, these are properties that one or more parties have inherited. Someone has passed away and given the property to an heir. Sometimes these heirs that have inherited this property don't live in the same city. Sometimes they don't even live in the same state. Okay, and they just don't want to mess with the property. So with that in mind, they would love to get this card from you and have you buy this house from them fast, even at big discounts. The second kind of category we go after is non-owner occupied properties that have owned property for 10, 12, 13 years or more. And what that does, it gives them time to pay down the note, to have an equity spread in it, so that when you contact them and you talk to them, they're more likely to have an equity spread that makes sense, that it's worth your time. Because if someone owed 100,000 and the property's worth 100,000, there's no way to make a deal. But if they owed 40,000 and they were really motivated and they were tired of dealing with tenants or whatever, and it was worth 100, all of a sudden there's room to make a deal. So those are the people you want to go after. Otherwise, you're spinning your wheels. And the third and final one we go after is free and clear properties in specific areas and price ranges. So where do you get these? How do you find these people that have these golden properties? I'm going to give you a couple of sources right here. Write this down. You can go to usleadlist.com, and at US Lead List, you can buy a list of inherited properties in your area. It'll have the name of them and the properties. And also, you can go to listsource.com and get a list of non-owner occupied properties that have been owned for 12, 13 years or more. And also, same with free and clear properties. And so here's what happens. When you get that list, they send them to you in an Excel format, like a Microsoft Excel. And it has like the property owner's name, first name, last name, where they live, and the property that they own that you're interested in. Here's how you automate this and kind of put it all into a system. I use a company called clicktomail.com. And what they are is basically a publishing house that you tell them what you want to print and ship and the addresses you want to do it to, and they'll do it all for you. So here's how it works. Once you buy your mailing list that have these gold mine properties on it, you go to this web address, clicktomail.com. And when you go there, you simply upload your mailing list. Say it's free and clear properties, or it's non-owner occupied or inherited. You upload it there. And you say, hey, to this mailing list that I've just uploaded on your site, by clicking this button, I would like to send this postcard, and I want it to be yellow or white or green, and I'd like it to go out next week. So on this site, depending on how many leads you buy from ListSource or US Lead List, you can send with a click of a button. You can send 100 postcards or 10,000 or 100,000 postcards with the click of a button. And what they'll do is they will print your postcards. They will address them. They will put postage on them. And if you want, they'll even mail merge for them for no extra fee with a click of a button. It's just like that. So you could literally spend 5-10 minutes and send out 10, 100,000 postcards. It takes the same whether you're sending 10 or 100. It's the same process. But here's the thing I need to caution you about. When you send out tiny little postcards like this or letters, you don't want to put your home phone or your cell phone on it, because you'll be absolutely driven completely crazy. The calls will come in like you wouldn't believe when you send them these out in quantities. So here's what you want to do. You want to set up a voicemail box, and you can do that. You can basically rent them by the month at a company like freedomvoice.com or ringcentral.com. And you can pick a number, and then you record your voice. You record a voicemail, and that's the voicemail that these callers are going to hear when they call that number. So you send out this postcard, they see a number, they call it, and basically it says, hey, this is Joe or Jill. I buy properties in the area. If you're interested in selling your property quickly for cash, please leave as many details about it as you can, and I'll return your call promptly. And so they leave a message. You will hear through those voicemails, because Freedom Voice at Ring Central will actually email you an audio file, even to your phone if you want, so you can kind of sift and sort through them. You'll hear callers calling in, and they're saying, hey, take me off your list, or hey, I'm not interested in selling, or hey, I've got this property and I'm not going to get back to the state, and I've had it for 25 years and I just want to sell it as is, and just want to move fast. Please call me and make me an offer. So it tells you which ones to pay attention to. and you'll know to get on those really quick. So set up your voicemail box before you send out these postcards. Well, this is the end of video number 2. I trust that you found this information to be very helpful. And tomorrow, I'm going to email you the third and the final video. So in the final video, you'll discover how to build your list of hungry cash buyers that are looking to buy deals in your area and have cash. Plus, I'm going to show you 2 houses that I've wholesaled personally and a triple wholesale flip. So you won't want to miss this final video. So if you'd like to talk with me live and ask any real estate investing questions, you can do so. Just go to www.mycoformula.com/talk, or simply click the link below this video to schedule a time to talk live. If you're a beginner or an experienced investor and you want to talk with a live real estate investing expert, it would be my pleasure. If you need help with wholesaling houses, fix and flip, cash flow rental properties, maybe some no money down strategies, or if you just need help knowing how to find bargain properties below value, just complete the form on the site and pick a time that works for you to talk. And that concludes part 2, and be on the lookout tomorrow for the third and final video.